So remember the training from the first level, or thing that Beast advertised? Well, we're finally about to see it.
Well, Spider-Man, I see you've decided to take advantage of Beast's offer to train in our state-of-the-art danger room. This exercise will test one of your greatest abilities, web swinging. To complete this mission, you'll need to turn all of the green areas blue by landing on them or walking over them. Be careful though, do not touch the red areas or you will fail the mission.
Okay, Prof, this should be a piece of cake. I was born for this sort of thing.
So yeah, this one's as simple as it sounds.
Pressing R2 allows me to web swing.
If you remember the first game's training mode, it was nothing like this. This is completely different. But yeah, the environment you see here is what you get for the entirety of the training mode. Anyway, for this one, it's web swing. Basic stuff, really. I mean, what else do you play a Spider-Man game for, besides maybe those beat-em-ups? Even those have some sort of web swing. Anyway, here's the first significant challenge. Long distance swinging. This was sort of a thing that was kind of already in the game, but I mean, you'd have to be a speedrunner to mostly use it. Otherwise, you're not going to use it. But this does look daunting, but it's possible. I mean, why else am I here? Then again, I don't complete all of these.
What'd I tell you? I'm a natural.
My patience doesn't have enough time for, everything here. Especially considering it's one of those training modes where they teach you unnecessary stuff.
This mission utilizes another of your web abilities, the web yank. You can pull both enemies and some objects by pressing down at the same time you press the web button. You can yank to the side by pressing diagonally down to the left or right, and the web button to yank in those directions. Follow my instructions and make your attempt.
That sounds easy enough. Are you gonna do that talking in my head thing? So creepy.
I intend to do just that, Spider-Man.
Okay, then.
Oh, yeah, web yank.
Yank straight.
You may remember me using this a couple of times in the previous game, and I'll continue using it.
Easy as pie.
This is really the first time they ever actually explicitly teach you how to use different stuff. But yeah. This, I guess, is one of the more practical stuff you would actually, do in the game.
Excellent, Spider-Man. Now, some objects can
That too, I guess, but But yeah. Eventually, this will scale towards more and more pointless as the time comes. Such as this one, really. Unless you're an exploiter of the game. But even then.
This mission tests your L1 aiming abilities. You must make it to the top of the tower without touching the black area. Use your L1 targeting button to aim, and then R2 to swing to the target.
Ah, this will come in handy for rescuing cats out of trees.
Okay, that was a terrible joke. But, yeah. There is some unnecessary stuff you would need to do at times. No different from the first game, really. There's just some stuff you do and don't. I mean, I guess you'll be a judge of that when you see the rest of the playthrough. Or unless you already played through the game before. In that case, maybe you can concur with me or not. Anyway, this one's just simple. Just use L1 targeting, which is also, like I said, very useless. And that's all there is to it.
In this mission, Spider-Man, you will practice using your L2 targeting feature. When there are multiple targets on screen, you can easily cycle through them by pressing the L2 button repeatedly. When you have your target, press up and the web button to fire impact webbing at it.
Hit only the green targets. You'll fail the mission if you hit the red ones.
Simple enough. Do I get a prize for this? I could use a stuffed rabbit for my girl.
Okay, so this I guess is also kind of useful, but obviously there's no time in the game where there's innocence, so you're not supposed to hit shown here with the red targets and the green targets. But I do recall a similar training level in the next game, movie game. Except in that one, it was some weird different kind of challenge. Yeah, it was more of a challenge than it was something that was trying to train you. And just like these two games, the training was unnecessary. There was only one that was useful, but otherwise you didn't need it. Anyway, what you see is what you get here. It's just L2 targeting. Infinitely more useful than L1 targeting. So this is one of the additions that Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro does very good. Or yeah, I'll just say this much. This game provides at least, decent additions to abilities in the controls, as in they're way much better now than they were in the first game. The problem lies for me was in the game, specifically the levels, and I guess sort of the plot and whatnot. There's less spirit in this game than there is the first one. This feels more, of a corporate sequel than, something like, say, Super Mario Bros. 3 to Super Mario Bros. 1.
Whoa! This looks interesting.
This is to practice your zipline ability, Spider-Man. These are the only places you may touch. If you touch anywhere else, you fail.
All or nothing, huh, lady? All right, I'll give it a whirl.
Oh yeah, you can't web swing either for this one.
Trying to make this easy, eh? Stand back, people. I'll be back in a jiff.
Remember, Spider-Man, you can only touch the green areas.
Green, right, got it.
Anyway, this is when I start giving up on the training modes. So, for the most part, I'm not going to be completing any of more challenges except for maybe the last one. So here's a simple, it's just, press the R1 button, you'll go up. If you've done the last level in the first game, you'll do this fine for the most part. And obviously I have, but I haven't completed it. Nor do I have the patience to do so. In fact, I think this was my third, fourth attempt. I sort of just gave up after a while. And the next one's no different. But yeah, I think I have completed this before, so that's a different matter entirely. This is a recording, not the genuine first time gameplay. But yeah, that's all there is to this one. And that was that. Turns red and you fail.
This one might pose more of a challenge, Spider-Man. It helps you to work on your stealth abilities.
The objective is to make it to the end without alerting the guards at all. This means no webbing them up or attacking them.
Being cautious will sometimes keep you out of dire situations. This mission teaches you how to take advantage of your ability to sneak around.
I can do sneaky.
I'll just remind you, there is no real stealth level in this game. In fact, the only really real stealth level I remember from any of these games is in the next one. And it's nowhere near as strict as this game's training segment. So, yeah, this is entirely pointless. You can do this if you want, you'll be way better at this game than most people are, but yeah. There's a problem with this though, is that the guards here are way more, alert than they are in-game, even on hard mode. These are by far the best guards in the whole game, and they're just virtual simulations. That's kind of sad, but expected, I guess. Yeah, this really just adds on to the whole tacked-on training mode that's harder than anything the game would ever throw at you. So yeah, it doesn't look like I get very far in this. The next guard catches me up. In fact, I think the way he found me is just stupid, so But there is a lot of patience, and yeah. If there's any better stealth training stuff, I guess there's always Metal Gear Solid VR missions, which kind of feels just like this game's training mode, where it's unnecessary to, you know, being better at the game. I mean, I could play the Metal Gear Solid 1 or 2 perfectly fine without the VR missions. I mean, I even got you know, a trophy in the second game for not getting caught at all. Also, yeah, don't ask how I got caught there. That was just beyond my control.
This will test your combat skills, Spider-Man. You need to last for 2 minutes to complete this mission.
No problem, Teach. I can do this in my sleep.
And I believe there's very few combat segments in the game. There are this quarters. Well, yeah, you get the idea of this training mode. So this is basically just a survival challenge. That alone, at least I guess, justifies the existence of this training segment. But you would have to unlock it by completing the stealth challenge and all the other ones. So yeah, and I might as well get this out of the way. There's actually challenge versions of these training levels. So while what I'm doing here is just trying to make me better at surviving for 2 minutes or whatever it was. The challenge ones, at least in this one, it's more like that's a stealth one, which is different. But in this one, the challenge version of this one is simply defeat as many enemies as you can. There's even high scores from the developers, but you kind of require to put in the VV high scores in the sheet menu for that to work first. And you can tell that the developers are probably way better at the game than I was. But yeah, that's where the real high scores lie in, at least, is in the challenges. While the first game naturally had them as part of the training, whether or not you completed them in the first place. So yeah, in fact, you get a costume for defeating, I think, 30 enemies here in the challenge version. Obviously, I'm not gonna go for costumes on the first go, but yeah. In fact, I think I only get 2 on hard mode. Yeah, even the costumes, I believe, are affected by the same behavior as the comic books, where only certain ones could be, you know, obtained through certain difficulties. So whatever costume you get on normal difficulty, it would not be the one you would get on hard difficulty. But yeah, I haven't played the game enough to tell you, so I guess go check game facts. Anyway, this is I believe instant action mode. It's basically the real sandbox of the game, and it's just for training. You just get generic goons to beat up on, and that's it. You have this big cityscape and just go wild. And that's it. I plan on exploring it at least, so you'll get to see at least a bit of the map. Or not just a bit, but a lot of it. There's probably some I missed, but I don't care to go back to this. I mean, with this design already, there's already not a lot of, you know, it's very hard to make one building distinct from the other. But back on the topic of something else, VR missions. This kind of does look like Metal Gear Solid VR missions, doesn't it? Makes you wonder if they're inspired at somewhat by it. But then again, for all I know, this could be the original design of, you know, what was it? Whatever it's called. I don't want to get it wrong, so I'm just not gonna say it. But yeah, that's all there is to it. Explore the map, and there's nothing else to it. Oh yeah, and these are the only enemies you get, I believe.
You ain't kidding.
You don't get, you know, a different enemy type for this, so you enjoy it while it lasts. Oh yeah, and I show off the falling death here too, because it's gonna be the only time you'll see it in this Let's Play, unless you want to look up one of those game over videos. Nah, not even a satisfying death for that card. Oh well. We get deleted from the virtual space, and that's it for this part. See you for the next actual part.